like to start the Port of Newport Commission special meeting. Today's Thursday, August 13th. Time is 12:01. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I don't believe we've seen any public comment. Is that correct? Okay. Okay, so we'll go right into the agenda item. Port Dock 5 Pier Project Management.
Yeah, I'm going to let Aaron take that on.
Okay.
Thanks, Paula. So this is we have a proposal here. This represents our absolute best effort to bring as many qualified project management candidates to the table as possible. Like I said, we got one proposal here. This is a result of the compressed timeline that we're faced, and then the highly specialized nature of the work because it's in water construction. Our proposals from HDR. They put together what you see in the meeting packet. They have a great deal of experience working on building a lot of bridges, doing in-water construction for the state, also BNSF Railway. They certainly are qualified to be able to provide this service for us. The EDA, I've worked with them as well throughout this time period to try and deliver something that they will accept. We're still working out some more details. I need to provide them with just a little bit more information, but what we're requesting here is authorization for the GM to be able to negotiate with HDR to establish a contract that's acceptable to both parties under the amount that's provided here in the meeting packet. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. I think the details are all in the meeting packet, but we still have yet some more to work out before we can sign a contract with them. Pete has a draft contract. Our lawyer has a draft contract, and he has reviewed it, and there's a couple of things that he wants to send back to HDR and some more work we have to do there, but I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody has.
Go ahead, Paul.
The only thing I would add to that, since we talk about the GM negotiating a contract, obviously, as Aaron mentioned, we are having our attorney look at it, but also the fact that part of that negotiation is making sure that we have in that contract any requirements from EDA and any other things we may feel necessary in order to move forward. But I also want to add that I haven't really had much experience working with HDR on the in-water situation, but I did work with them a few times on the rail side, and they're an extremely qualified company. They have a lot of different kinds of engineers in-house that can step in to solve all kinds of different problems. So I feel confident, even though they are the only company that have provided an offer. We don't feel like we're just settling with just anyone. They are indeed a very qualified company. And we worked out through with them on the pricing. It seems within our budget, and I feel pretty confident that working with them would be a good thing for us. So that's all I have to say.
Commission, any questions? Jeff?
Can you remind me of the overall budget?
So 4.8. Oh, sorry, Aaron.
It was a $2.4 million project with a $1.2 million fund share between us and the EDA. Are you talking about, you said the project budget, correct?
Yes. So this fits within our budget.
Yeah, that's correct. There's the project, what the engineers projected the project was going to cost, and then what we had to do when we received the federal funding was break that into the categories that are standard for their program. And in particular, within the EDA funding, we have $220,000 that can be combined, that consists of legal fees, inspection fees, and architectural and engineering. Those were the three categories that make up that $220,000. It was everybody's understanding from the outset that we wouldn't really need to use A&E very much, because that's basically already done. So the EDA is aware of all of that, and they kind of anticipated seeing something similar to this when it came to project management. So they're kind of expecting it.
And Jeff, I did talk to Aaron a bit before, just to make sure. What I didn't want is that the funds that we're paying for this project management would take away from construction funds. And I want to make sure that not only we have the budget for the general project, but we have a budget specifically for this item, which again, as he explained, it was on the engineer's estimate as well as on the EDA itemizing parts of the project. So I feel comfortable that at least this part won't take for the original estimated amount for the overall construction.
And then it also does not touch our contingency for the project. We still have a $434,000 contingency that's left as well. So this hasn't touched any of that.
Has there been anything that's come, I know it's way early in the process, but has there been anything come up that has made you think either something to the effect of this is going to impact our budget negatively or positively, or is it just way too early to even think about that? Has there been any surprises, I guess?
We haven't had any surprises that I'm aware of it at this point in time yet, and hopefully it'll stay that way. So everything is business as usual. What we're doing right now is working through the list of budget items to trying to prioritize them. I mean, there are always little things like the crane that we had to fix and so on more, but we had budget for that. So I don't foresee as of right now anything that may impact that could create a problem for this project or vice versa. So I feel pretty comfortable.
Also for...
Well, maybe Mark should speak for that matter.
No, there's nothing that's come up at this point. Paula was right on the money. Just the crane that we know of.
Okay. And I did look at HDR's, I did look at the documents, and they do look like they have a lot of experience. Is a lot of bridge experience you mentioned, and I saw in there. Is that, do you think their experience crossovers to the pier? Are there things that are different that need to be looked at, or do you feel like their experience pretty much covers the range of really what we're looking at?
Yeah, I think actually we call it a pier, but it actually acts more like a bridge than a pier, because it's not like anything's mooring to it. There's nothing laying up against alongside of it or anything like that. So I actually think their experience here translates particularly well, because things like electrical conduit, stormwater drainage, and things like that's right up their alley. This is all stuff that goes into bridge work as well, and driving pilings. They're very experienced at all of that. So I think they have a good construction manager on the hook for us as well, who's got a lot of experience, and I think it translates very well.
Great, thanks.
Gil or Kelly?
This is Gil. So one question I was curious about. Yeah, they look very competent, HDR, but I'm curious. when they bid for this work, it looks like it's very close to what the estimate was. Did they know what the estimate in the proposal was for this work ahead of time, or is it just that everyone was perfectly aligned with what the cost would be to get this work done?
Actually, they initially started out with a much higher number. And so that was an effort to try and pare down their hours to make it more closely tailored fit to what we actually need. So that may have been a result more of my trying to get it within that budget than it was them coming out with a number that, because at first when they gave me an estimate of what they were looking to provide, it looked to me like there was a lot more hours on certain tasks that we weren't really going to use. So that was me trying to get it down within the budget, I think.
Oh, that's excellent, Aaron. Good work.
Good
But it
negotiating.
doesn't, yeah, good negotiating, but it doesn't really affect the quality of the work or the extent of the work. It's just being a smart negotiator and getting some of their time down. Okay.
Yeah, I think the only question is, I think the hours that we have are going to be used, and I think it's we're in a good place with it.
Okay, thanks.
Jim, you mute.
Aaron, did you go meet with them earlier today? Was that the group you were meeting with today?
No, I had a meeting with Hart Krauser. That firm, so they're undergoing a bit of a transition right now. They're being absorbed by a different firm of a different sort, I guess. Hart Krauser specializes in a lot of mitigation. So they're an interesting firm because they do a lot of mitigation work and things like that, but they also do the in-water construction portion of mitigation work. So for example, if you have a project where you're going to need to pull a bunch of old pilings, and that is counting as credit towards some kind of mitigation effort for some other project, they are a firm who will do all of the permitting, all of the planning, all of the engineering, and the actual, be there for the construction phase of those type of things, but they have more of an environmental focus. So they were somebody that I wanted to keep that meeting because I had contacted them early on and said, hey, would you be willing to put something forward for this? And they said, we're going to go in transition right now. They're bringing more civil experience into their firm, so they wanted to kind of take a look at it. But they knew going into it that they're several weeks out from even being able to prepare a proposal. I think it comes at a not very advantageous time for them to put something together because they're in transition as well. But the bulk of what I talked with them about was future projects, because they're able to put together a more global view of the overall needs of the port and help us really work on mitigation projects and combining efforts for permitting on a large scale.
Okay, great.
And this is a firm that I actually knew through PNWA. So we know about some of their good experience. So we'll look into them for future projects, and but this time it just didn't work out.
Well, I don't have any further questions. Kelly, do you have anything? No?
No.
Okay, anyone want to make a motion?
If you make a motion, please make a motion to adopt the resolution rather than the recommended motion on the report.
Do I hear a motion? Jeff?
Yes, so I'm looking at this. Do I need a resolution number? Or just say that we recommend we adopt a resolution?
If you look at the resolution, which is on page 5,
Oh, I was looking at the recommended
Yeah.
motion.
right,
Yeah.
there's a resolution number and then the title of the resolution.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, I recommend that the we adopt a resolution 2020-12, a resolution authorizing a contract with HDR Engineering for project management for the Port Dock 5 Pier project. And do I need to say
Not to exceed.
yes? To provide a contract with HDR Engineering to provide project management services on the Port Dock 5 Pier project, not to exceed $220,000, pending further approval by the EDA. Oh, and to specifically authorize the GM to negotiate that contract with HDR.
Thank you, Jeff. Do we have a second?
It's
Yeah,
like, oh, go ahead, Bill.
whoever. No, go ahead, Kelly. Your turn.
I think Kelly got there first.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, thank you, everyone. Any other last minute comments from staff?
I appreciate you coming together to get this going. This will make a big difference on timing, so I appreciate that.
Okay, no problem. At this point, I'd like to close the special meeting. Time is 12:17, August 13th. Thank you.